Look at what we have going on over here today. What's up, boys and girls? Happy to be with you today. Again, 5 o'clock, coming to you from the balcony. It's the 5 p.m. quarantini. Cheers to you out there. I don't even know what day we are at with this thing. Can somebody weigh in right now? Victoria, you know everything about the quarantine. What day are we in this isolation nation? What day are we? What day are we? I got Ned's atomic dustbin spinning in the background, so I'm going to lower that a tad. Bear with me a minute. I feel like it's loud, right? I want to get into this. It's very important. There we go. Very important that we understand how we got ourselves into this mess energetically so that we can then get ourselves out of it. And today's law, 12 universal laws, I'm bringing you law, I believe it's number 7 on the list, and it's the law of attraction. It's the most famous of the universal laws. There are 12 of them. And the purpose of the universal laws, just guidance, something that helps us work in accordance with energy of the universe so we could live harmoniously on this planet. And when we are disconnected from ourselves and the laws of the universe, we experience chaos. But what the good news is we can easily pivot right back to order, right back to peace and well-being, our natural, normal state. We are supposed to be harmonious and happy, and we got a little life house in the background, and I'm gonna lower it a tad. Love this song. Who's with me with like the late 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s music? Oh my God, just speaking to my soul. So, okay, law of attraction, let's break it down real quick. The law of attraction states that which is likened to itself is drawn. That which is likened to itself is drawn, meaning what you pay attention to, you get more of. You focusing on what you don't want, or are you focusing on what you do want? Because what you focus on is going to manifest. So, this is why I'm chilling. I'm out here listening to music, having a delicious cocktail, doing some work, writing, coaching people, just living well, loving life. Summertime, all the time where I live, high vibe. And, I'm focusing on well-being. I'm focusing on good health for everybody. But the problem is we have the news media throwing us off. So here we are living our life, and I'll see like birds fly by, it's like tropical paradise. And then all of a sudden, go on social media and somebody's running their mouth off about whatever, being ridiculous, and it jacks out your vibe. It gets you to focus on something other than what it is you want. So this is the big opportunity. If we all collectively focused on what we want to come out of this whole thing, like, for example, being able to go outside and go to stores and buy stuff and hang out with our friends and go to the beach. Although on Miami, people are out and about. The traffic is still happening. I don't really know where people are going though. It's a little confusing because nothing really is open yet. People are still going places, so I don't really know what that's about. But I do know that law of attraction is real. It is a law, just like law of gravity. It's always there. We're always attracting things, manifesting things. And so when you work in accordance with law of attraction and the other universal laws, you become super powerful. You're like, oh my God, like I get how the laws work, and I can navigate in my life from a much more powerful and peaceful place. So, have you guys manifested anything really cool, like in your life? Do you like ever have a memory of something where you were like, this one thing happened where I was waiting for a plane and there was like no shot of me getting on this plane, and then all of a sudden, like, just as luck would have it, it opened up. Like something like random like that, that isn't really random. You actually created that. So the law of attraction and all of these universal laws inspire us to take personal responsibility for our lives and our choices. So yesterday I was talking about another law, and then the day before that another law, and the whole thing that's common about all of them is that we are responsible for the life that we are living. What we are seeing in the collective right now, everything with this coronavirus, this was like a law of attraction manifestation of chronic negativity. Chronic. It's like it put the planet in a state of dis-ease to the point where we had to reset everything. We're in like this, think about it. How many countries right now are in like a universal time out? Put in time out. Like we were just running amok, and our parents, the universe, said, hey, get in time out and sit there and think about what you did. And you're like, we're in trouble, oh my God. So, law of attraction is real. There are people out there that are like, I don't believe in the law of attraction. That's ridiculous, because you attract everything in your life. Your energy becomes a match to what it is that you bring in, and then law of attraction brings it to you. It's law. That's like saying I don't believe in gravity. Like, it's not, maybe you don't use it, like you're not aware of law of attraction. I could get down with that, but to say I don't believe in it is like ignorant. So law of attraction is a universal law. Anything that you are attracting moment to moment, including your thoughts, is a manifestation and proof of the law of attraction. So how do we use this magical law to get out of this situation? See, Jody Jones knows what's up. Jody Jones, she manifested the Facebook Live right now, the quarantini. Cheers to you, girl. Cheers. I'm feeling this song right now. I don't know if people can hear it. It's like the songs get loud and then they go in and whatever. I love this song. This is a jam. But, you know, here's the thing. What we can all do is focus on what we want. What do we want? We want good health. We want prosperity. We want, you know, great weather. Like, the weather in Miami has been outstanding. Outstanding. You can see I'm getting tanner and tanner by the day, laying out on my balcony. It's great. I got a great setup. And, you know, one of the things that is interesting about law of attraction is that there are no accidents, right? So in my life, I attracted parents who got divorced when I was 3, and then I was with my mom and I saw my dad on weekends, but they both worked, and so I was alone a lot as a kid, and I had people around me, but I really was alone. And so I can handle this all day. I mean, honestly, I can be probably, if somebody wanted to make it interesting and have like a bet with me, like a $50,000 bet that I couldn't last through solitary confinement for a month, I would take their money. I'd rob them blind. Rob them blind. A Gen X latchkey kid can stay alone probably for 6 months completely by themselves and be fine. Be fine. Like, you open the door, my skin, I look like I you know, went in a time capsule, and I look 20 years younger. No stress, no other people, just me, my thoughts, meditation, going anywhere in my mind every day. Oh my God, amazing. It'd be like the ultimate detox. You know, people talk about solitary confinement. There was a post about this, and they're like, it's inhumane and da-da-da. And now that we're all isolated, we see how important connection is. And I'm reading these comments, and I'm just like, bro, I can be alone all the time. All the time. Like, if Mr. S doesn't call me, I'll forget. I'll literally forget. I'll be like so in my peace that I totally forget. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't talk to him today. And then the phone will ring, it'll be him. But I'm so chill in my solitude. And one of the, you know, this wasn't, well, no, it was always the case for me, but like, I always had this thing in the past in my life that I always had to be in a relationship. I always had to be in a relationship. Like, I didn't feel peaceful. I felt like anxious and out of sorts if I wasn't in a relationship. Like, I needed to anchor myself to somebody. And thank God I was able to kick that codependency, not into that at all anymore, thank God. But there are a lot of people out there who I coach that are about that You know, they're in these codependent, narcissistic relationships. They're in toxic relationships. These relationships are not even good for them, but they'd rather be in a relationship than alone because they hate being alone. And I'm just like, I know what you're feeling, dog, but you gotta learn how to be your own bestest, truest friend, because that's how you attract the better people. That's how you attract people who are secure and self-loving and healthy, as opposed to these toxic, psychopath, narcissistic idiots who are so broken that they suck on you and try to feed off your energy, ruin your life. Awful. But you know, law of attraction is the thing that made me realize that there was something inside of me that made me a match to that dysfunction, to that kind of energy. And once I asked that question, then I was able to solve it. Then I was like, wait a second, what is it in me that attracted this? Law of attraction says that which is likened to itself is drawn. So if I'm attracting narcissistic people, or people who are non-committal, people who say they're going to do something and do something else, people who are lying, then where am I lying to myself? Where am I not nurturing and giving to myself? And that's when I turned it onto me, and I started to show up for myself, and I started to heal all of those things. And the programming that came from, you know, as a little girl, things that you put together in your head, whether they're true or not, but you believe these things. You connect dots in your head to cope as a kid, and these things become your perspective. It becomes how you view the world. So when you're a little kid, if you don't heal those beliefs and they go with you all through life, you're going to be looking for soothing in other people, and then law of attraction is going to match you with exactly the type of person that is supposed to come into your life to teach you something. There are no accidents. You attract what it is you focus on. So when we're thinking of coronavirus, right, we attracted this. Wanted or unwanted, it does not matter. Law of attraction doesn't give a shit about what we want and what we don't want. Law of attraction gives us what we are focused on most. And if we are in fear and we're watching the news and we look at the world like we think we're all gonna die, then guess what? Pandemic. If we're looking at the world and we're feeling isolated and out of touch with people and out of connection with people because we're all up on our phones and connecting through mobile devices as opposed to face-to-face, and even when you connect with people on mobile devices, is it meaningful conversation? Are you just wasting your time scrolling, engaging with strangers with no sense of purpose? Are you adding something to the conversation, or are you just there to release energy, right? I find that there are a lot of people on social media, I probably deleted about 50 of them since this game started, who contracted the virus of assholishness, pandemic of assholery, and decide to vent and take their anger and frustration out on social media. And I'm not having that because I run a really nice club on my Facebook. I curate it. I love it. Sometimes people act a little crazy and they gotta go. They gotta go. I'm not dealing with that. And this is a time where we can reflect. We can set some standards. Now that we've been in isolation nation, and we've given some time to be on our own, to be in our homes, with our own thoughts, might be a good time to set some new standards about who we want to attract in our lives, and focus on the kind of people we want to be around, the kind of things we want to accomplish as a global community, what kind of world you want to live in, what kind of world you want to attract. Because, I mean, this thing with this pandemic, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, people are dying, but I question, like, the rate of death to the rate of hysteria. It seems like it's disconnected. There's disproportionate hysteria to deaths. I mean, 7 billion people on the planet. And there are other illnesses out there that we're not tracking stats on, you know? So I don't know. I feel like I like to look at the positive in things. I like to look at what's wanted, and what's wanted is a world of well-being, not a world where we're going to be looking at the ticker of how many people are dying from an illness. Like, I'm not into a world like that. I don't want to turn on the TV and see that, right? And again, what we look at, we get more of. So I got people thinking they're like amateur news reporters with this thing. Every minute there's an update. Coronavirus in Italy and this country, and did you know this and that? And you know, they're going to end up attracting this thing. They're certainly going to keep it alive, keep it active. So if you want no more illnesses, even within yourself, use the law of attraction. Focus on well-being. Focus on mobilizing your cells of your body, and envision your cells of your body, trillions of them. Envision them. I do this exercise. I said it on the live yesterday, where I envision my cells of my body like a vast sea of happy emojis. And I line them all up, and I stand in command of them because I run my shit. And I say, hello cells, I love you all. I love all of you. I feed you all with love. And so I ask you that if there are any cells that are angry emojis and they're rejecting the love, they're rejecting it, resisting the love, I need for you guys to knock into them and turn that anger emoji into a happy emoji so this girl can be healthy. People are like, Lisa, you're 49 years old and like you don't have an entourage of people like a fitness trainer, a makeup artist, lighting technician, plastic surgeon. I got none of that. None of that. I do have a really good esthetician on the beach. Amazing. She gave me some natural things to do that you can do right at home, one of which, and this is for guys and girls, consider taking baking soda, Himalayan sea salt, that pink salt, mix some of that together with a little bit of rose water, drop of coconut oil, and you make a nice little scrub out of it. You pat your face, you leave the scrub on for a little bit. You're going to feel it tingly, doing its thing. And then wash it off. I have not had better skin in like a while, a really long while, since doing these natural, techniques and just really handling the mindset. I had this mindset about menopause. And I was like, kind of like talking shit about growing old and my body and the changing that I'm seeing, whatever. And it was banging me out. My skin, like, I was getting more grays. I'm like, wait a minute. I gotta use the law of attraction and start to attract some youth into my life, right? So I started to really appreciate my body. I started to be like, wow, like this is the age I am. I have so much wisdom. I love that age I'm at. Like, I could only imagine what the next decade of my life is going to be. Amazing. And law of attraction started to bring me better and better manifestations since shifting my mindset into what it is that I want. Amazing how that works. So I'm using law of attraction right now to manifest some new enrollees. I have enrollees, new people enroll into my coaching every month. So I had my March people, I still have more people, and now I'm going March into April, so I'm excited to see the people who enrolled completing. Like my February people are starting to complete, and now my March people are underway, and more people are joining on and getting into my orbit of positivity. Whatever is going on in your life, whatever is going on that you see that's blocking you from where you want to go, let's handle it. Let's handle it. It's not only about relationships. It's not only about that whole jam, especially now with coronavirus. There are a lot of people, they just want to get around a positive mindset. They just want to get out of their negative mindset. They're talking to their families all the time, calling the moms, calling every day, hey, what are you doing? And all this worry, all this concern, the programming comes back again. That fight or flight programming, people in your circles talking negativity all day long. And, it takes a toll on your patience, on your stress levels. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. And a lot of people don't know how, they don't have the tools, they don't know how to establish healthy boundaries. They don't know how to check in with their parents and have a conversation go in a way that they could set the tone for the conversation. They don't know how to hold that space and hold their energy so that everyone acquiesces to them. They're too busy getting all wrapped up in the story of everybody else's concern. And the work I do, energy work really is what it is teach people how to like be a badass in your own energy. How to understand that the way you react to something is up to you. And you can choose to react or you can choose to respond. And I used to be super reactionary. Oh my God. I used to work in New York City. I lived in New Jersey, so I had to commute to work every day. It was like an hour and a half per day. It was horrible. Sometimes 2 hours. Sometimes it would be, I'm talking each way. I lived 20 minutes outside of Manhattan in the suburbs of New Jersey. And my commute, that 20-minute commute normal, on a morning rush hour would be like an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half. That was always typically the normal. Crazy making. And the people, oh my God, the people, like inconsiderate, awful. And I had this thing where I thought that it was like up to me to stomp out all the injustices of the world. And it was because I felt so unsafe in my perception of the world, which was of chaos and disorder. It was terrible. And I was like trying to establish order in chaos. It came from my childhood. I was in a very chaotic environment. A lot of people in and out, different, left with certain people that were just not good. Drugs and alcohol and just people who are not really ready to take on the responsibility of watching kids, and I was left with them because my parents worked. So there was a lot of shit that I saw growing up as like a latchkey kid that I would escape from. I'd get on my bike and I would just like go be on my own, or I'd go play with friends. So I was often very alone. And so when you grow up like that, I mean, you're constantly trying to maneuver to sort out everybody else's mood. You're trying to read the vibe of everybody else. You become very hypersensitive to other people's moods and needs. It makes you incredibly codependent. It makes you like feel like you have to manage everything around you to feel safe. That's how it manifested for me, the codependency. So in every aspect, my marriage mainly, my work relationships a little bit, not so much. There were just certain, mainly in my romantic one-on-one relationships. That's where, ooh, birds, nice. That's where that manifested, and it's normal and common, and I see it happening now with, the people that I serve and help in my coaching practice. I help them get over all of that. A lot of my clients do come from the New York metro area, LA, Chicago, a lot of metropolitan areas, because they're so stressed out. They're stressed out, they're making a bunch of money, and they don't know why they can't get it together when it comes to their relationships. And so the work I do helps them figure out what at the root is the problem so that they can then transform it, just like I did. And it's super rewarding once it happens. You feel so much better. You start to like get along better with everybody, mainly yourself. You have a sense of peace within yourself. And when the coronavirus and things like this happen, you're kind of like rolling with it. You're just chill. You're just so committed to your peace and your well-being that you're just like, I'm not going to choose what everyone else is doing. I'm not going to watch the news all day long playing in the background. I'm not allowing that toxicity in my home. My home is my sanctuary. If I want to attract abundance in my life, I cannot operate my home from a place of fear and lack, right? Energy has to flow in. I need to have the energy of abundance flowing into my house at all times. Abundance, meaning good health, prosperity, sense of well-being, sense of safety and security in the world. And if you feel that, then you're going to give back to the world in a great, meaningful way. But if you don't, then you're going to be like how I was in 2006, 2005, that whole, early 2000s, even 90s. It was awful, horrible. I probably would have ended up further into dis-ease, lack of ease, had I not have moved from that area to Miami, to sunny, beautiful, beautiful Miami Beach, Florida, where I live now. And I had to get super uncomfortable. I had to leave everything that I knew that was familiar. I had to leave, at the time it was during the recession in the 2008, 2009, 2010. It was hard times. And separated from my husband. It was awful, super brokenhearted. And everybody was making their moves. Everybody was looking out for them. And I was pushed into doing the same. And I said, all right, well then I'm going to move to Miami. And it just called to me. Law of attraction brought me to Miami. And I never looked back. I got here in 2010. And I created... It was a little rough the first 5 years finding my way here, especially when it came to employment. It's a very different place than New York. I wasn't independently employed. I was a freelancer, but that was a little tricky because I always worked for companies. So it was very hard. But I got it together and I decided, okay, I got to figure this out. I have got to see what it is that I can do on the planet using my God-given gifts and talents and being an instrument of service under God. Like, give me something to do. And I remember one day I was just so frustrated. I was just like screaming and yelling in my apartment. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was working for Grant Cardone and I was frustrated and I was just like, this is bullshit. Like, I don't want to work for him. I want to be him. Like, why don't I have a job like do that and uplift people and whatever? And I was just like frustrated with like waking up every day, having to be somewhere because somebody said so, like bullshit. And I was just in this, and all of a sudden I just was like, give me an assignment. I remember saying, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? What am I here to do? What am I supposed to do? And then as my life unfolded, I realized that law of attraction put me with Grant Cardone. And for people who don't know who he is, he's a self-made multimillionaire, soon billionaire, I would imagine. And he's a sales trainer, also multifamily real estate entrepreneur. That's where he makes the bulk of his money. But he also has a sales training program that he sells to companies around the world. So I worked for him as his director of marketing way back when he had, 15, 20 employees. Now he's got, I think, close to 170 or something like that. Bought a building in Aventura. Like, he blew up, right? And I was a player in helping him sort it out in Miami when he brought his company here and up-level him in that first bump up in his company. So that was when I was there. When I left there, I was like, I have nothing. I'm like, I'm done. I am done working for people that could just be like, boop, you're gone. Just like that. Just like that. Bye-bye. Recession happens. Bye-bye, Lisa, you're gone. Somebody gets a bug up their ass that they don't like something about what you said about whatever, bye-bye, you're gone. Especially now, the way social media is, oh my God, you can't say shit. Everything's political correctness and you're like walking on eggshells all the time. And these people wake up one day, they look at a spreadsheet and they decide, okay, you're not an essential worker anymore, or whatever they're calling it now. It's terrible. And there you go, bye-bye house, bye-bye everything. So I had seen a lot and I said, you know what, that's not gonna be me, I'm done. I'm going to start creating my own economy. I'm going to start looking at myself and what gifts that I have to give to other people and share on the planet. I'm going to start to give them. I'm going to start to figure it out. I'm going to create my own economy. I'm going to work for myself and in service to others, right? So when I asked, show me what to do, what can I do? The answer came. The answer came. So in this time of uncertainty, I share this story because law of attraction is always bringing you ideas. It's always bringing you ways out of certain situations that you attracted. There's always, I attract this, I want to get out of this, the next attraction, the next attraction. So this is always a constant thing. But you can be very intentional about what it is you choose to attract. You can decide it. You can decide it. You can say, I want this. And then you focus on the feeling of it before it happens, and you thank it before it happens, and law of attraction will bring it to you. So I am hopeful that this was a little happy, nice little quarantini lowdown from me to you, reminding you of your power, reminding you of your greatness, and that these universal laws are put here out of love for you. So research them, find them. If you want to learn how to up-level your life in any way, whether it be work issues, relationship issues, hit me up. Tracy says, I didn't realize you worked for Grant Cardone. I bought his book and now the sales team keeps contacting me. Oh honey, oh yeah. Oh yeah. They're gonna be on you deep. So they're gonna try to get you into a thing called Cardone U, because the next progression is for you to be part of his programs. And it's cool, it's a cool sales program. It's deep though. It's, you know, it's intense. I know the platform. I've done his sales training. It's, you know, some people say it's kind of archaic. I think it's cool. There's, you know, some value to be gained. But this day and age, there is so much information on YouTube that you don't need to be paying, you know, a monthly fee to get access to a platform. You know, I don't really think it's necessary. But hey, but yes, they are very aggressive. They will call you. They will hunt you down. You have to unsubscribe to everything. And, you know, protect your identity, protect whatever, you know, you get to allow in who's contacting you. But yes, I don't know what book you got. There's my favorites, 10X Rule and Sell or Be Sold. Those are my two of the favorite Grant Cardone books. He also has a millionaire booklet. So, yeah, so I learned a lot from Mr. G. He was amazing. Interesting guy to learn from. I took that job as like a paid apprenticeship, because I just wanted to get near the think and the mindset of a multimillionaire. But yeah, so if anybody's interested in learning about Grant Cardone, I can definitely share some stuff with you. Hit me up on a PM and I'd be happy to share my experience. You know, good, bad, and otherwise, whatever. I'm very fair about what happened in my time there. But yeah, much love to you guys, and remember, you can attract whatever it is that you desire. Your desires are good and they're true to you. Don't give them up for anything. Just focus on how good it's gonna feel when it happens and watch it happen. Allow it in. If I can help you out with that, hit me up. Thanks so much. Much love to you, and I'll see you tomorrow.